Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you have to have some level of self-awareness here.
Angel Reese is once again listed as day-to-day, but if you've been tracking her career, you can probably guess what that usually signals. Last year, she was shut down early with what was called a season-ending wrist issue. Now, the storyline is a vague back ailment keeping her out of action. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky have actually been picking up more wins without her in the rotation. Over in Indiana, Caitlin Clark keeps shattering records. Even while battling a legitimate groin injury, she continues to show up and lead the Fever in their determined playoff push. So here's the real question. Is Reese truly hurt this time? Or is this shaping up to be the most predictable vanishing act in WNBA history? And how did it all end with her being embarrassed after accusations of walking out on her team? If you're convinced this is just another one of Reese's brand-saving maneuvers, drop a fire emoji or a baby giraffe in the comments.
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day-to-day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard.
Reese's day-to-day label has become almost a familiar routine for fans. The updates are vague, the absences strangely timed, and they always seem to pop up when Chicago's season takes a turn for the worse. We've seen a similar pattern before. Last season, it was a supposedly severe wrist fracture, so bad that doctors said she needed surgery to prevent arthritis before even reaching her late 20s. And just like that, her campaign ended. No gradual return, no gritty finish, no push to fight through. It was simply over in an instant.
Hey, look, bro, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
This year, the storyline returns, but with a different twist. Now it's her back. No clear timetable, no full explanation, just a sudden injury that appears right as the Sky slide into another losing stretch. Look closely at the schedule and the trend is clear. Losses start piling up, pressure mounts for her to deliver, and then, suddenly, she's gone from the lineup and not even visible on the bench. It's becoming routine to wonder which day-to-day designation will quietly turn into weeks off the court.
Angel Reese! She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait. What's going on? What's going on?
What's even stranger is that she didn't travel to Indianapolis for the Sky's matchup with the Fever, one of the most hyped games of the year. This is supposed to be the league's headline star, yet she skips the season's most intense rivalry. But rewind just a few weeks, and there she was in the same city for the All-Star game, smiling for the cameras, soaking up the spotlight, and even staging a PR stunt suggesting she had taken over Caitlin Clark's moment. Seems her back works just fine when it's media time, but conveniently acts up when it's time to go head-to-head with Clark. More and more fans are starting to notice the pattern.
She's using her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that, and now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked this year. Peace out.
Naturally, speculation began to build. Is she avoiding the possibility of another high-profile failure? Is she protecting her numbers by sitting out games where she could struggle? The whispers aren't flattering. Several analysts have already gone on record hinting that she's effectively done for the year. A few have flat out said she's quit.
She identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
2 consecutive seasons, 2 conveniently timed injuries, each appearing just when her play is drawing the most criticism. Both have effectively erased any chance to prove she can grind through adversity and still be a difference maker. When you line up the timelines side by side, it's hard not to wonder whether this is simply misfortune or a calculated choice. And that doubt only grows when the Sky immediately looks sharper and more cohesive the moment she's off the court. At that point, the situation shifts from suspicious to downright hard to swallow.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
Chicago's win-loss record doesn't reflect the superstar billing Angel Reese gets. While she's promoted as the face of the franchise, the numbers say something else. In fact, the Sky perform better when she isn't playing. And this isn't just random coincidence. The stretches without her are often when the team racks up wins and avoids the sloppy, momentum-killing defeats that keep them near the standings basement. For someone touted as a foundational player, that's not a flattering stat.
Let's get it! Burn! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great! Burn! Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow. Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bow!
It's a team that can't seem to beat Indiana this season no matter the circumstances. Even without Clark in the lineup, players like Hull, Boston, Mitchell, and Cunningham flowed together seamlessly. They played in rhythm, trusted the natural pace of the game, and avoided forcing up bad shots to protect personal branding.
Williams gonna have to hurry off the dribble, rolls out. Oh, open 3. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hall. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hall catching fire.
Now Chicago just needs to get it a little bit more settled here in the half court. Nurse loses it. Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham. Cunningham right there for 2 more.
Team chemistry isn't complicated. You either have players who make those around them better, or you have ones who disrupt the rhythm. When Reese is sidelined, the offense moves more fluidly, and the numbers back it up. Chicago doesn't stall waiting for her to post up or chase a rebound out of position. Instead of forcing the same play repeatedly, the guards run their sets with precision, wings cut with purpose, and shots come from high-quality looks.
Do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have no value.
This is the definition of addition by subtraction, and the irony couldn't be clearer. Remove the supposed franchise centerpiece, and the team's energy level actually rises. Analysts point to the improved spacing and quicker tempo without her on the court. Even the bench seems more engaged. The coaching staff hasn't outright said it, but subtle comments suggest they see more urgency and better execution when they're not funneling every possession through a single player's ego.